mood to accept the treatment. And they're still mean. I use my own self to, when I came here today, first, I didn't get up till 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Now yesterday I did not. Run, walk in the hills, oh, it's just nice. I said, now tomorrow, I'm gonna get up early, and I'm gonna do this, that, and other, and I might be able to get my exercise in time, and tomorrow is when I start this whole new thing we've been talking about for a week or so. We're gonna have for next door. Basically, we're gonna have our job description, right? And we're gonna do a certain job every day on a regular basis. And I couldn't hardly move. So when I got up, I said, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Now I haven't had nothing all day, but remember I used to tell you about my certain coffees I loved and they gave me, got a little buzz? Well, okay, this coffee that used to give me the buzz, the little high, if I drink it, it didn't work. It must have combined with something. But when I used that coffee in an enema, and I've been doing this for years, when I used this coffee that I used today, a couple hours ago, in an enema, it cleaned out and everything, and it worked perfect. And you got a little juice. So I studied a long time ago, self-treatment. Why do when I use this coffee as an enema, I get a little juice? It's because it's coming in your behind, going in your large intestines only. Why is it anytime I use it, I feel clear in the head and everything? Maybe because your large intestines are the last absorption of certain things, right? And if I was tired and all dizzy acting and sluggish, when I would take an enema, bam, I'd pick up all the time, including during fasting time. And it really works to do it fast. In fact, it's almost cheating, so you have to stop doing it when you're fasting because you're cheating, you know, because you're taking in something, but it's coming in the other end, but it's still, here, I'm ready to go. I mean, when you just tired and can't hardly see, so you can't, you have to control yourself, because you can find a way, you know, you can call it the fiqh of fasting or something, diversionary fasting, anything you can figure out, you know how niggas is. But anyway, so you have to watch yourself. But this is what I came across after decades of this, over and over again. The number one is certain stuff that that goes into your body, and maybe it combines with other stuff. And that's like the coffee. If certain things coming in, it may combine in your stomach with other stuff, and it puts you to sleep. That's what this same coffee that I did have today. If it come in the back, it juices me up. If it come in the front, it puts me to sleep. And this is not from this month. This is for years I've been doing this. And I'm telling this now. And boss man ought to know, but if he don't, he can kiss my behind. But here's the thing. In studying yourself, you study, okay, if our analysis is true, if we're going to be real archivists, writing all this down, we're going to be real chroniclers, right? We're going to chronicle all this stuff. We're going to have it right for everybody. If we're really going to do that Star Trek isn't. And the other analysis, are we really the target? So if you're going to be an archivist, documentalist, chronicler, historian, then what comes next? Educator, trainer. If you're going to train people in this, you're going to have to train them with willpower, strong-mindedness, fortitude, self-control, self-command, self-mastery, self-government, tenaciousness. You're going to have to be tenacious. What, right? Okay. Endurance. Endurance, duro, hard. Endurance to last a long time. Another thing for protractedness. Toughness, resistance. In other words, if that's true, that means we're going to have to endure this stuff long enough to document it where it's 99% correct. It's scientific, but it don't look scientific because don't have a lot of little thousands doing this, but you're studying yourself all the time, and you're recording all of this, right? You're recording all of this, so you know what you're talking about. So when you study your history, you can go back and say, well, stuff I told you all. I said, yeah, I'm one of the first Negroes to run off the plantation, which is going all around the world. So my ideas at McNeil Island, they gave me a little operation they said they had to do a biopsy. And they just cut right up here. But I'm sure they put something there. What is it, like clipping animals ear, you know what I mean? You tag them, right? After that, that's 1974. After I got out of prison, when I would run in the beautiful hills in Oakland, I could not avoid the white man. He would be there, some kind of way. Or if I slip back, because I'm going to test this, when it comes to me. If I'm running down a trail and there's a steep trail up there, when you're in shape, I could shoot up that way and shoot through the woods. I mean, real woods. And I couldn't get away from Boss Man. So I knew I was tagged. I done studied it over the years. All the 80s, I done studied it and tried it. I done run this wood, I done run through that wood. I done did all the stuff. Now, it's not been charted down, but I have made all those studies to see if I was tagged. Now, if I wasn't tagged, we could say, okay, the white man is just left. The other thing is like, if I was married to a person and they want to stay there all the time, you have to ask yourself why. I said, if I done divorced somebody and I done gave them a stack of $100 bills, which no nigga do, ain't nobody. Do you know of any African Americans? Tell the truth. Just gave, and you can check, a black woman a whole stack of $100 bills in a divorce. They don't do that. In fact, if there's anything laying around that they might see, they're gonna snatch it and run. I'm saying, okay, then why? So when I first get married, all of a sudden I got big blisters. The only one around that would remember those blisters is Tufel, because I'd wear those, my regular shalwar kameez, and the blisters would show up right here, big blisters. So that meant something, the way I ended up, somebody's putting something in something, and it's supposed to produce something, and those blisters are signs. Those big blisters are signs. Later on, I have blood clots. Oh, I didn't have them, but my legs swelled up. And that's what I'm sure it was, a blood clot. So I'm seeing all this real quick. So it seemed like they just pulled back for a minute. And they said, this is too quick. So they pulled back for a minute. When I would go to South Africa, when I would go everywhere, I had certain systems. Those little bottles of ginseng, I'd take a little bottle of ginseng and Coca-Cola, and I'd put a little drop in, and then I'd drink a little Coke, and I'd get a little buzz, and I would stay. Like all those writings that I made, that's how I could write them, because I could be sitting here, I get a little tired, okay, I go to the refrigerator, get a little drop of ginseng. Just a little drop, not no whole lot, because in a day's time, I would use up just one of those bottles in a whole day, which is fine. And the Coke seemed to give it a little boost. So, eventually somebody finds ways to interfere with that process. Okay, no problem. And then I get arousal itches. I might have mentioned that. Did I mention arousal itch? Arousal itch is something you get this a serious itch when you get aroused. And if you're famous for concentrating on what you're doing, if someone want to break your concentration, they get you the itching. It still works like that. That's why I like to have it cool in here. That's why I have this stuff back here to rub, because if the temperature changes wrong, because once they mess you up, they can't come back and undo it, maybe, right? No, this is true. This wasn't the way it was before, but it's a combination of moisture and da-da-da-da gets in the room, and a certain amount of heat, you know what I mean? It's fine for everybody else, but I'll start itching. So I keep this right back here, and that's what it's for. It's not some cream, beauty cream that I want to rub on my body. It's to make sure that the remnants, and if I get, last time I went to the passport office, or if I have an argument with somebody, or a discussion, and I get to a certain level, the itch will kick in. Yeah, it didn't happen before, but it's kick in. No, it's not. That is not bad. All of that is good. Because remember, it don't make no difference what nobody do. We're going to use it for the good. In fact, the more bad they do, the more we like it. Why? You train yourself like that. Nobody wants to be itching to death. But you said itching is better than dying. Itching is better than being boiled in oil. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? It is. It is better. So you train yourself that anything they do, you're going to use it to a benefit. So today, I said, let me see. Because at 11 o'clock, and of course, if I hadn't been asleep all day yesterday, because after I ate, I'd sleep knocked out for a while, and I get up and have a little bowl of soup. And the stuff I'm eating is not stuff that make you sleep. I know what to eat to feel a certain way. I know if I eat certain things, it'll knock me out. And if I eat certain things, it'll wake me up. If I eat nice veggie stuff and just lightly, you know what I mean, with light crackers, I'll feel juiced up. I do it every Ramadan. I eat that, I'll feel fine. If I eat certain stuff, I'm going to be knocked out. So I didn't eat none of that yesterday. I only ate real light stuff. In fact, I came down here and made me a soup, and took it back down there in a big canister, and that's all it was. Another soup. Yeah, it's a soup. You know, it's kind of soup. A little thick soup, but it's nice. So I got up this morning at 11 o'clock, not no 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, which if it was going to how much sleep I had yesterday, because see, when I used to sleep over 7 to 8 hours, I'd start getting a headache. I'd have to get up. I'd have to get up because I said, man, I've been here too long, you know. And it was just one of them good habits. So I was laid out all night and all the night, not a night before last 2 nights. I thought, okay, I had them shots, you know, them shots, and I said, I had 3 shots. Then I said, let me read what they said. So all 3 said, you know, if you take this shot, you might be a little sleepy, a little drowsy. So all 3 of them said that. I had a tetanus shot and I had whatever the other shots were. So I said, okay, maybe the reason so when I left here, remember in class, I said, I'm going back and get me some sleep. At least that's what I was thinking. And I laid down, I was asleep all that night. Then when I got up, I could get me a drink of water and I was still sleepy. So I said, maybe, let me read this. So then I read the thing late at night and it said, I said, okay, good, I can sleep. In fact, I'm gonna take tomorrow off and I'm just gonna sleep. But then it wasn't going away. You know what I mean? After 2 days. So after 2 days, it kind of went away a little bit. But today, with my new schedule, when you write the schedule, I'm going to do this. It's going to be job description. So 44, 81, this, that, and other. I'm going to do a certain amount of work all day. I'm back to my old schedule. I'm going to work all day. No TV, no nothing. So if I work for so many hours, or if I work just an hour and I get tired, I just go lay down, get me a little breather, listen to something on the news, and then I'll go back to work. Then if I get a little tired, I can do that all day because the schedule is mine. And then I'll have my exercise, and I know what my little exercise, how it makes you feel. So I did my little nice workout yesterday. It was the first complete workout I had in a long time. I liked it. So that meant I would be juiced up for this morning. Then if I get up for Fajr, and then I could hit it at 6 o'clock, then I could take my walks, and I'd be finished everything by 8 o'clock, right? And then I could come down here, and I didn't get up at that time. I got up at 11 o'clock, in fact, 11:06. Well, I said, So I made my regular little enema mix, and then I took enema. I said, I'm not taking it because this is a study. I'm just studying and continuing. So right now, I'm fine because I haven't taken anything yet except the enema. So the enema overpowered whatever. Remember, your large intestines, it's the stuff in you. You got to test yourself. The large intestines, when I would be tired or something before, I said, let me go take an enema. And it would push out or clean out. You know what I mean? The large intestines is going to absorb some of this stuff, whatever it is, right? So if that enema come in, it's going to push all of that out. And the coffee is going to help stimulate all the little follicles there and push it all out. It always works. It worked today. I was just tired as I could be a couple hours ago. I mean, I feel super tired. I ain't tired right now. Okay? Because I didn't follow a study principle that I've had for over a decade. Right? Okay, it comes from the stuff that they've been doing before. What our research shows is that if you take your regular, I mean, when my office is mainly back there, man, I could drink a nice cup of coffee and I'd be juiced up. After a while, it started putting me to sleep. So I said, wait a minute, something's going on here. Okay, so then also you have to study what is it that combines one thing or another that make, for instance, you could be getting one thing, light stuff, by itself, there's nothing. You don't feel it. It's odorless and colorless. You don't. But if it combines with something else, and the FBI, they got all that stuff. So that's what this stage, what we're doing is right now, when we say that this is a laboratory, that Oakland is a laboratory, DC is a scientific laboratory to study movement. And our job is not only to study movement, but to be a catalyst to document, right? We've been talking about science fiction management for years, and we're only starting to bring it in now. Right? We're only bringing it in now. We mentioned a little bit every now and then, but we're bringing in science fiction management because that's our job. Because if we're going to point the way, right, either however you're going to do As-Sabiqun, those who lead the way or those who show the way. If we're right now those who show the way, we're going to have to show them all the scientific advantages that they have from our research. Because that's what the target is. I'm the guinea pig. They're using it. Look, I don't care whether nobody believe it. Well, I talked long enough that people have added up. So now, but you can imagine I had to go through all of this time to prove one point after another with 97% accuracy before I would even go to this stuff, right? And this stuff has been in my head. We talked about science fiction management at the same time we talked about an air war. It was 17 years ago. So all that we knew then. But what do we have now? We have a better proof. Now, this is what I mean. By the target, by the boss man is so dirty. He knows that you either are or was a physical fitness buff. Boss man will give you a week or two every now and then that your body, he'll let things go back to the way it would be naturally. And as though he's saying to you, now, nigga, wouldn't this be nice that you feel that way all the time? Just because you've earned it in physical fitness and diet, you know what I mean, and watching this and watching that, you know. And he's saying to you, that's what I'm interpreting. And I got this feeling from